The Minister of International Relations, Dr. Naledi Pandor, says the world cannot look away while millions of Palestinians are suffering in the Middle East. Addressing delegates at the Dilemmas of Humanity conference hosted by the labor organization Numsa, Dr. Pandor says she will oppose Israel being granted observer status at the AU. This comes at the backdrop of the Israeli-Hamas conflict. Dr. Pandor spoke to SABC's international news editor Sophie Mokoena earlier.
Well, Sophie, I think it's important, and I'm glad South African media is so open on these questions, that we shouldn't pretend that the people of Palestine are not suffering under the yoke of oppression and occupation. We know this for a fact. The world knows it. But some choose to pretend that this is not the case. It would be intolerable from our perspective that an occupying country be given a presence in the African Union, which implies that that country is acting in terms of all the values and principles elaborated in the Charter of the AU. It's always vital when we discuss this matter to say one of the aspects of the AU Charter is a rejection of imperialism, occupation of any kind, infringement of sovereignty and territorial integrity. These are principles we refer to when we speak of Ukraine, but we don't refer to them when we speak of the people of Palestine. And we're saying, as the African Union, we have a duty to uphold our own charter, nothing else, not a new demand, not a new principle, but actually what exists on paper and has been signed on to by all of us.
You have also challenged the delegates, particularly the Labour in South Africa, that they must act, for example, at times refuse to offload the cargo from Israel.
I raise this matter because, whenever I'm in an audience such as this one, I'm asked by delegates, what's the government doing? Why is government not doing this? Why is government not doing that? And so I was asking them, what are you, as the trade union movement and organs of civil society, doing? You are far more powerful than an individual South African Minister of International Relations and Cooperation. Use your organizational muscle to unite and do more. They've been able here, Numsa, to bring over 50 organizations from all over the world, Puerto Rico, United States, all over. Why are they unable to organize a global protest against what's happening to the people of Palestine? So I'm saying, let us move from rhetoric to action, but not just us in government. I'm saying us as organized progressive forces of the South.
And finally, Minister, you've been there, you've been the face of South Africa, you have been communicating the foreign policy of South Africa. It has been 2 difficult years, the war in Ukraine, and now the Middle East question. You warned the world last year that you are focusing on Ukraine. You have forgotten the Middle East question. As a human being, it does take toll.
Well, certainly it does, but I think we have to continue. That's the one thing that South Africans have learned from their struggle, that you don't give up. You continue to struggle, and that's what in Southern Africa is our common slogan, Aluta Continua. So it's important as minister, but also as our government, as the governing party, the African National Congress, our leadership, President Ramaphosa, we must not forget to constantly refer to the terrible condition of the people of Palestine. It is actually just a bad stain on humanity that such a situation is allowed to go. As we watch buildings being bombed to the ground, people being killed, children dying, people not able to receive care in hospital, that countries can cut off fuel, electricity, food distribution from a people, a whole people, many of whom are not involved in what the issue is said to be about. The true issue is not the action of Hamas. The true issue is the question of the freedom and justice for people of Palestine. And this matter must be addressed if ever we are to have peace in the Middle East.